Jak 3 came out in 2004. I was about 8 years old, and I never beat it. I got to the final boss, and for some reason, I just could not get through that thing. Now, that was true until I decided to do a Jak 1 through 3 playthrough, and in 34 hours, I beat all 3 games. And when I finally got through Jak 3, it just kind of made me realize how bad I was at video games when I was a kid. I'm sure a lot of you have gone back to games that you grew up with or things that you just remembered from your childhood and realized kind of just how much easier they are now. You know, it's a mix of you just kind of have a better understanding of everything on top of the fact of, there's so much information out there now that if you really needed help, it wouldn't be too hard to find it. Jak 3 was definitely one of those like quintessential games for me. I really loved the whole Jak and Daxter series. Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, those two really were a lot of my childhood. Jak 3, the final boss, was definitely one of the harder boss fights for me as a kid. I have no idea why, because when I played through it the second time, it wasn't really all that difficult. It was pretty straightforward with the mechanics and stuff like that. But man, when I was a kid, dude, it just absolutely rocked me. I actually just recently did another playthrough of the game, and it only took me about 4 hours to beat. It's been a while since I played a game where, it just tells you exactly what to go do and in what order. And while Jak 3 has a lot of like open area that you can go and look at stuff and do a lot of the mini challenges to get the precursor orbs, things of that nature, I just stuck straight to the story. And the end came much faster than I remember it coming. Outside of just, kind of buggy movement and some unfortunate deaths because the camera angles make me fall off the ledge, it was honestly a really good time. Going back and playing games like this really make me appreciate how far games have really come, honestly. I think Jak 3 is a pretty fantastic game. I mean, there's not really too much wrong with it. Outside of the movement, that's kind of just a little annoying, and that just comes down to, I think, like, just stick sensitivity, and then just, the camera angles that you're forced to use in certain situations. But gameplay itself is just so much more responsive and enjoyable. I will say I really do miss games that just kind of like, you can't really get lost. And I know in some situations you kind of want to be able to just get lost in a world, but for just like a single player story game, it felt really good to just be like following along, being told a story, and then completing tasks that progressed that story and told you a little bit more about the game and the world that you're in. I also think games back then just had some of the best cutscenes. The breaking of the fourth wall happens so much in this game, and they really just, they put a lot of jokes in this game that you might not even realize were jokes, especially as a kid. There's a lot more. It's just like going back and watching SpongeBob. There's a lot of very mature or just jokes that you probably would have never understood as a joke when you were a kid playing games like this. So I really do appreciate, enjoy, and miss this kind of like old storytelling. It's not super serious. It's not really crazy in depth, but it's definitely enough for you to get behind the characters in the game and really attach yourself to someone in the game that you just really love. Beating Jak 3 for me was just kind of like that checkbox that I really needed to finish. Jak 3 was so important for me, and with consoles changing so much after the PS2, I went down the route of having an Xbox, so got Xbox 360, Xbox One, stuff like that, and then eventually got to PC gaming. And so I've had to buy 5 PS2 since then, and I bought Jak 3 multiple times. So it felt really good to go back and play this game again and just kind of relive that happiness from when I was growing up. I really do think that if you're thinking about a game that you used to play, just go play it. The retro gaming market is so nice right now that it's actually really easy to go find these older consoles. As long as you're just buying something that's like relatively standard, they're not too expensive, and you can just go back and relive some of those really good memories, and maybe you can bring a friend along and just have a good time again. Please let me know if you guys have any similar memories or stories when it comes to the Jak and Daxter series, or if there's just any game that you find really like near and dear, because I'd love to look into those and see what you guys played when you were growing up. As always, guys, appreciate your time. And if you like this kind of content, go ahead and like and subscribe on your way out.